As I was walking, I was kind of debating what kind of shots could I get today, or try something a little different possibly. So I only have about a few minutes or so. I was thinking maybe try some playground stuff. Lots of movement with drone registration news today, it seems. So apparently it's returning in the US for sure now, so it's confirmed. And basically talk about the upcoming Canadian drone regulations. Technically, it should almost be here in terms of them officially announcing how it's going to be. It was actually really interesting seeing how many of you guys experienced some form of bullying and stuff in your life. Thank you guys for sharing that. Kind of reminds you how many of us have very similar experiences in life in many ways. And the first one was with the US drone registration. It says here, Trump signs bill reinstating the FAA's drone registration requirement. Back in late 2015, the Federal Aviation Administration introduced new rules requiring owners of small drones to submit their devices to a database and attach a registration code to the side of the product. In May of this year, a judge in DC Circuit shot the rule down and the FAA began the process of returning the $5 registration fee. Now the registry is back on courtesy of a bill signed into law earlier today by President Trump. The reinstated rules were one small piece of the $700 billion National Defense Authorization Act, about which the president reportedly said, "We need our military, it's gotta be perfecto." Likely the bit about drone registration doesn't even register a blip on the president's radar. That's probably true too. It's probably just part of the bill. He signed it, didn't pay attention to it. Well, according to a lot of you guys in the US, you didn't really care anyways about this registration in the US. You think the fees are small and you feel it's reasonable in many ways, from what I read from what you guys said anyways. This little quote makes me want to know. It says, "We welcome the reinstatement of the registration rules for small unmanned aircraft," the FAA said. "Ownership identification helps promote safe and responsible drone operation and is a key component of full integration." As well, it says the FAA put registration and operational regulations in place to ensure that drones are operated in a way that is safe and does not pose security and privacy threats, in a statement said at the time. "We are in the process of considering our options in response to the decision." I'm actually wondering with stuff like that, while I guess it's good, okay in some ways to have registration, like I don't think there should be absolutely nothing, but I don't think there should be something that's overboard. It makes me wonder, if someone's gonna fly it in a dangerous way and all that, how likely are they going to like say obey just because they registered, or why would they even register if they intend to do something bad with it? That's my thought. I don't think registration per se is a direct influence to get rid of stuff like that. If someone wants to fly it like an idiot, they're gonna do it anyways, from what I've seen anyways. So what does everyone in the US think about this? Same thing? Don't care? Like basically the day goes on? Or do you think it's a good step for example, or a bad step for whatever reason? Again, even the quote saying, "In other words, the days of the model aircraft being flown anonymously by hobbyists, sometimes drunk, sometimes dangerously inept, and possibly peeping toms is rapidly coming to a close." Again, in my opinion, if someone really wanted to do that, I don't think this is going to stop it. I guess it's a good step to kind of, promote the responsible flyers, but to say that it's going to stop all that, I don't know, it just seems a little weird to me. So again, the Canadian regulations should be coming soon in terms of whatever the finalized proposal is. I'm guessing by January or sometime in January 2018. In this article it said, "Upcoming drone regulations and soaring use provide opportunities and challenges. New Transport Canada rules are around the corner, but will they go far enough to protect privacy?" So again, the conversation is about these things are going to spy on people, so what can you do about it? I believe this was like an interview with a bunch of people. They gathered them together to get their opinions. It says here, Sterling Cripps is the founder and president of Canadian Unmanned Incorporated, a medicine hat-based UAV training operation. He says, "One of the big challenges moving forward is stressing the importance of safety and regulatory compliance." For the most part, it seems like it's talking about the what ifs. That's what a flyer should have in mind. To say, for example, to fly in a busy downtown area such as Calgary, you are in Class C airspace from ground up to 3,000 feet, right out past the Spring Bank. In order to fly legally in this airspace, you have to have permission from Transport Canada. How would you deal with a flyaway or a crash or something like that? That's the challenge that we have, is making sure the operators are educated and trained in dealing with emergencies in this realm. I guess there's nothing wrong with training and education, but kind of like the other example that I talked about a while back, people just keep using all this fear kind of selling techniques from all these training organizations, and in my opinion, that's just not the way to go. I mean, just promote the positive, get people to fly in safe areas, And for everyone that's new to this, to say, for example, just get licensed, just like a car driver's license, that's not how it works with the drones. You have to get like a permission every single time. It's not, this thing says this guy's a responsible flyer so he can fly wherever he wants, so to speak. It's not exactly the same thing. And as I read this, the comment from this privacy lawyer was actually really kind of funny and interesting in a way. It says, but as Transport Canada considers new rules for drones, privacy should be considered alongside safety, a specialized lawyer says. Unfortunately, for recreational drone users, there isn't a requirement that they register their drone or the flight path, says Laura Emmett. As you all know, they have that ridiculous interim order right now where they say you have to put your full contact, your address, and everything like that on the drone regardless of the situation. And I've always said, if you're making a rule, it should protect everybody involved. The drone flyer plus the non-drone flyer as well, because you never know who's going to be the maniac. And it says here, it does present some difficulties in terms of identifying who is operating the drone. The rules right now for Transport Canada for recreational drones require that the name, address, telephone number of the drone user are marked on the drones. And this part here, this is actually really hilarious in many ways. But without binoculars or long camera lens, reading that information could be difficult. Residents who see drones flying over their property and have privacy concerns, she adds, could contact the police directly. That is so ridiculous and funny because people often are afraid of the drones because they assume they get these like telephoto lens and stuff on you, and now even I've shown that's not the case. Most of them are wide angle lenses. You gotta be right up to the guy to actually get like a decent photo or video, for example. And in this case, it's suggesting, okay, I guess people could, like I never even thought of that, they could, if it's a crazy guy, use a quote binoculars or whatever to get a close-up view of exactly who owns the drone, even if they're flying like in a safe place. Doesn't that invade someone's privacy? Again, it should work both ways. Oh, that's just so silly. Some nice Christmas lights. That's something for non-drone flyers to think about, in my opinion. I mean, imagine a kid flying the drone for fun in a perfectly safe way, and then there's some crazy guy that does something like this, for example, to get their entire contact information. Does that make sense? I don't think so personally. But again, you need the balance in terms of protecting both the general public and the drone flyer, because they are the general public as well. And you guys, you might have an idea how I could potentially use that thermal camera with a drone, and you want me to do like a pan to see how it actually is in terms of, I guess, the hardware. Let me just go indoors. I'm gonna go there, and I actually wanted to test it to see how it is with all the lighting and stuff with so many people, so I'll do it there as a test. Okay, let's see how it is in the position when there's a lot of lights and stuff like that. here's the fun footage I took today too. All right, see you guys later.